The village of Okomi stood at the mercy of the restless waves, nestled between rolling hills and the vast, unknowable sea. The people here feared the waters as much as they relied on them. For years, fish had grown scarce, their once thriving trade now reduced to whispers of hunger. Crops withered under an unseen curse, and merchants avoided their shores, speaking of ill omens carried in the salty air. Among them was Tunde, a boy who dreamt of adventure in a world that had denied him freedom. He had lost his parents to the very waters he longed to explore. His grandmother had warned him time and time again that the sea was not kind, and neither was the land beyond. It had taken those he loved. It had left her to raise him alone, waiting for the day the tide might claim another soul. The villagers, wise in their caution, never let him stray too close to the crashing waves. Yet, no matter how much they tried to keep him tethered, the sea sang to him in a voice that only he could hear. One day, as he wandered the shore, lost in the melody carried on the wind, something strange happened. A conch shell, unlike any he had ever seen, gleamed under the sun. Its surface shimmered as if woven with moonlight itself. He knelt, pressing it to his ear, and heard whispers, soft at first, then stronger, like the voice of something ancient and knowing. "Destiny calls," it murmured, and for a fleeting moment, the tide pulled back further than it ever had before, as if holding its breath. The village storyteller spoke often of Yemoja, the goddess of the seas. She was protector and punisher, guiding those who obeyed her will, drowning those who did not. Legends told of lost sailors who met her beneath the waves, of fishermen whose nets overflowed only when they honored her name. Some believed she watched over the village even now. Others feared she had abandoned them. Tunde was neither afraid nor reverent. He was restless. And so, despite every warning, he embarked on a journey to save his people. He ventured into the unknown, determined to unravel out of malice, but because she had waited for him to come. And now, she would teach him what it meant to restore balance. With her blessing, the seas were healed. The fish returned, the crops thrived, the village rejoiced. Tunde was no longer just a boy longing for adventure. He was a hero, a savior, a child shaped by divinity itself. But as he stood upon the shore, watching the waves roll in once more, he knew a truth he could never unsee. Fate had not been his own. He had always belonged to the tide. As the years passed, Tunde became a guardian of the shore, ensuring the village's prosperity and honoring Yemoja's will. Though the villagers celebrated his heroism, Tunde felt a quiet melancholy, knowing his fate was tied to the sea's rhythm. One day, while walking along the beach, he met a young girl named Eo, who had a sense of wonder about the ocean that he'd never seen before. As they spent more time together, Tunde saw the world through Eo's eyes, a world full of wonder and magic. Eo's presence awakened something within Tunde, and he began to feel a sense of freedom he'd never known. Together, they'd venture out into the ocean, discovering hidden coves and secret caves beneath the waves. Yemoja's presence still guided Tunde, but he felt a sense of autonomy he'd never experienced before. He realized that his connection to the sea was not just physical but also spiritual. Eo sensed the wonder in his eyes and knew she'd found a true partner in Tunde. One night, under the full moon, Yemoja's voice whispered in Tunde's mind, "You have been chosen for a greater purpose. You will become a guardian of the depths, a keeper of the secrets that lie beneath the waves." As the goddess spoke, the ocean around them began to glow, and Tunde felt his body change, his senses expanding as if he was becoming one with the sea. When the transformation was complete, Tunde looked at Eo with a sense of wonder and trepidation. "What have I become?" he asked. Yemoja's voice replied, "You have become a guardian of the depths, Tunde. You will roam the ocean, keeping its secrets and protecting its creatures." Tunde and Eo embarked on a new journey, exploring the ocean and discovering its wonders. They encountered giant squids and dolphins, sharks and sea turtles. With each discovery, Tunde's connection to the sea deepened, and he realized that his fate was not just tied to the sea's rhythm but also to its secrets. As they sailed through the calm waters of a hidden cove, Tunde turned to Eo and smiled. "Do you remember the first time we met?" he asked. Eo nodded, her eyes shining with tears. "I'll never forget," she said. Tunde's smile grew wider. "I knew, even then, that I'd found something special in you." Eo's hand slipped into his, and they stood there, watching the waves roll in. They knew that their journey was far from over, that the ocean still held many secrets waiting to be uncovered. But they were ready, their bond strengthened by the trials they'd faced and the wonders they'd discovered. As the years went by, Tunde and Eo's legend grew. They became known as the guardians of the ocean, their names whispered in awe by the villagers. The sea continued to thrive, and the village prospered under their watchful eyes. One day, as they stood on the shore, Eo turned to Tunde and asked, "Do you ever wonder what lies beyond the horizon?" Tunde smiled, his eyes gleaming with the secrets of the deep. "The ocean is full of mysteries," he said. "But with you by my side, I'm ready to face whatever the tides bring." Together, they gazed out at the endless blue, their hearts beating in rhythm with the waves. And as the sun set over the ocean, they knew that their journey was far from over. The sea would continue to whisper its secrets, and they would continue to ride the tides of fate, forever bound to the mystery that guided them. In the end, Tunde realized that his fate was not just about fulfilling a destiny but about the connections he made along the way. He had found a new sense of purpose with Eo, and together they would explore the depths of the ocean and the depths of their own hearts. The story of Ton and Ale became a legend, passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of the sea and the bonds that tie us to it.